Hey, I am here at the Battle of the Weldon Railroad, also known as the Battle of Globe Tavern. That battle is going to occur August 18th through the 21st of 1864. Confederates are going to be here, and they're going to be trying to hold the railroad, which is right there. The reason they want to hold that railroad is because that is a vital supply line for the Confederate Army. Confederates are wrapped around Richmond and Petersburg. That line is the Weldon-Petersburg line of the railroad. It runs right into Petersburg. Vital supply line for the Confederate Army. Without supplies, the Confederate Army can't last. Obviously, we could do a lot of things, but if we don't have food, we tend to start, getting grumpy and not doing the things that we normally would do. So the battle is going to occur here August 18th through the 21st. It's going to involve the Confederates and the Union 5th Corps under Governor K. Warren. This is part of Grant's 4th offensive. Prior to this, Grant has tried to slam his way into Richmond. He's tried to slam his way into Petersburg. Hasn't happened. Robert E. Lee is the reason it hasn't happened. Lee is able to get his men in the entrenchments in time, and he's able to stretch around Petersburg. There's a chance for Grant to have taken Petersburg, but they mess up that chance. So Lee is able to get his army in position and hold the trenches. Grant then resorts to the strategy he used at Vicksburg, and that's to try and lay siege. Now, this isn't a siege in such terms as he completely envelops the Confederate Army, but he makes it to where Robert E. Lee can't move. Lee has to stay at Richmond and Petersburg. If he leaves, Grant's able to go right through, and that's going to end the Confederacy. So Lee is stuck. What Grant is trying to do, he has more men, he has more firepower. Grant is trying to stretch his army out and to take these vital railroad lines, because as he does that, it causes Robert E. Lee to stretch his army out. This is something Lee cannot afford. As he stretches his army out, he becomes thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. Ultimately, he will become so thin that Grant will find the weak spot in April of 1865, and he will break through the Petersburg lines, and that is going to cause Robert E. Lee to have to leave Petersburg and leave Richmond and retreat and ultimately surrender at Appomattox Courthouse on April 9th of 1865. So the battle here is very important. The Confederates lose this battle. It's overwhelming Union force. They're not able to hold. It's a freaking hard fight. I mean, it's a 3-day fight, but ultimately the Confederates can't hold it. You can see the earthworks behind me. These weren't here during the battle. These are here right after the battle. This is Fort Wodsworth. Fort Wodsworth is also built in August of 1864. It's directly after the Battle of the Weldon Railroad, and it's a Union fort. The reason they built this fort is to protect their asset now. They now have some control over this line of the railroad. That's why this fort's here. I've been inside the fort. You can come down and go inside. This fort is huge. I mean, humongous. There's a monument down a little bit farther, but really there's nothing inside the fort as far as cannons and things like that. So you can just walk around, you could see where the cannons would have been placed, what the soldiers would have been doing here. But it is a very big fort. This is the western end of the Petersburg line, so these guys in the fort, they had it a little bit easier, not much easier, but a little bit easier than troops up on the eastern front that were in the trenches. But it's a really cool fort. I encourage you to come down and see it, and to see this small portion of battlefield that's left here. There's some signs, there's a monument. Not far down the road, just south of us, is the Battle of Ream Station. Ream Station is another August battle of 1864. It's along the Weldon Railroad, but it has more to actually do with the Wilson-Kautz raid, which is a Union Army raid deep into the South. It kind of culminates at the Stanton River Bridge battlefield, and then they hightail it back this way. Lee has sent troops down to Ream Station to set a trap, and they end up having a battle there. So that's just south of here, not very far. I believe that battle was actually fought August 25th of 1864. But if you get a chance to come out to the Weldon Railroad, as I said, it's also known as Globe Tavern. Come on out. I mean, this is really cool. It's a beautiful day, so if you haven't got your butt out and looked around at some history, get out and look at some history. you know, if you're able to get out and walk around and look at stuff, go do it. You know, as the years go, battlefields do erode, you know, there's development and things like that, so get out and look at it. I encourage you to support history, support preservation, the Civil War Trust, Shenandoah Valley Battlefields Foundation, the Civil War Trails guys. These guys are awesome. As far as Lee's Retreat, I mentioned that. If you want to see something awesome about Lee's Retreat, go get the Civil War Trails map on that. It is amazing. You can follow the exact route that the troops took, and you can go from Petersburg at Southside Station all the way to Appomattox Courthouse. I hope you learned a little bit about Fort Wadsworth and the battle here for the Weldon Railroad. Please keep watching these videos. I enjoy doing them. I hope you enjoy them. Please keep supporting history. Again, you can see me at Aaron Civil War Travels on YouTube or on Facebook. I'm happy to friend you, happy to have you as a subscriber, and get out and support history. Thank you for watching.